2019 Kia Stinger GT, and this is the all-wheel drive one. You know what that means? Subarus aren't shit.
I don't mean to offend the Subaru community, but this car shows there are better cars for the money.
Here in my long running of car reviews, I always hate Subarus, and for a good reason. There are better cars. This is one of those better cars. So you might be thinking, well, I don't like punching drywall that much, but STIs seem kind of cool. Well, I got an answer for you. Kia Stinger.
As long as your name isn't Kyle either. I really hope that meme's still alive when I upload this.
This thing moves for a Kia. And that's gonna be the basis of this car review. For a Kia is gonna be everything I say about this car. Because Kia's never built anything like this before.
Kia is known for cheap economy cars, but they're turning that image around. This car is the sole protagonist for the new Kia agenda.
See, the last Kia I drove was a Kia Sophia, and that actually has the same engine as the Mazda Miata. Fun enough. But that thing had no power at all, and it was a piece of junk. This car is not reflective of any of Kia's history. This is an extremely capable car, extremely nice car, and just really fun to floor it on. I'm keeping up with a supercharged Z06 right in front of us.
I don't think any older Kia would even dare trying to keep up with a C6 Corvette.
You probably don't think Kias have good passing power. Well, today on this busy Logan Canyon road, we've got a lot of cars and one last passing lane coming up, so we're gonna test the capability of its passing. So we're gonna drop it down second gear, we're going about 45. And see you later. And we're severely breaking the speed limit.
Ooh, look, this vent's real. Good job, Kia. You got a real vent on your car.
So my first impression is just hopping in this car. If I didn't have a badge on it to see, I would really mistake this for a BMW of some sort. It feels very modern BMW-esque, both in interior quality and the way it delivers power. Like the twin turbo V6 is extremely peppy, and I would dare to say it competes with the N55s and the B58 inline sixes BMW has currently on the market.
And rightfully so. This car's lead engineer is BMW's ex-M Vice President of Engineering, Albert Biermann. And Biermann is quite the enthusiast actually, and he's also a really passionate engineer.
Now, what I'm more curious of is how the aftermarket's gonna treat this car. And I don't imagine there's gonna be a huge aftermarket following, because this is such a niche car for Kia that it might not be a smart investment for tuners to put money into. But there will always be someone who's gonna hop one of these up. So I'm curious to see how they do in the aftermarket realm. See if they're just like the N55s and B58s, where they're extremely tunable and very easy to pull power out of.
Please, this car needs an exhaust. If there's one thing to change, it needs an exhaust.
The brakes in this car are phenomenal. These Brembos, really confidence inspiring. They give you a lot of feedback for a heavy car, and you can just stand on them. Now, I don't think you could stand on them all day. I'd imagine the pad compound that comes from the factory at least won't withstand track abuse. But that being said, being Brembos, if someone wanted to track their car, I'm sure there's aftermarket support already. I'm sure this was a caliper base that's shared with other cars. If not, I'm sure there's already a pad option out there for people that do want to track this car, which this car would be very capable as a sedan, luxury sedan that can hit the track.
I feel both Kia and Hyundai know when it comes to performance to not sacrifice in the braking department.
Now, what I don't like, in this busy Logan Canyon day, one thing we're struggling with is you drive like a sports car and you get behind someone and they usually like, oh, this guy's probably gonna go faster than me. Let me move over. That doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. This car doesn't have any of that authority here. It just looks like, a luxury sedan. They're not gonna think like this car has a bunch of capability or a bunch of performance underneath it. So it does kind of have a sleeper aspect to it, but not in the good way, in kind of a more annoying way where you get stuck behind grandma in their Toyota Highlander.
But it looks quite good, and personally, I think the design has more emotion than its German competitors.
This car just has a lot of grip for what it is. For a heavy chassis, it's really easy to you can dive on the brakes aggressively and the car doesn't have any aggressive behavior. So it's really easy to manipulate if you want a smooth entry on braking in, or if you want to trail it in. It's really nice for a heavy car to have that kind of control, because a lot of heavy cars kind of pick wherever the momentum's going. So it is nice that when all that weight lurches forward, you still have a lot of good front grip to make a decision on what you want to do when you come into a corner. That being said though, it is a heavy car. You'll never beat a lightweight car. But for what it weighs and for what it is absolutely amazing. And especially for a Kia.
Kia is definitely impressing right about now.
One of my fears with this car is that people are gonna doubt it for being a Kia. And I really hope this does get a lot of support, because if we're able to support this car more, that means Kia will build more cars like this. So if you're an enthusiast and you're looking at an STI, I'd go for this.
A base STI is 36.5, while a base Stinger with a V6 and all-wheel drive is 41.5. It has more power and it's a much nicer car to be in. And let alone how much cheaper it is to get a rear-wheel drive variant or the 2-liter turbo variant. To add, the base 6-cylinder turbo BMW with all-wheel drive is $56,000, beginning without any options.
What it doesn't do like the B58 and the 340i is it doesn't respond as fast at throttle. There is still a little lag on that initial punch of the gas. And I think that's due to this being a twin turbo V6 and not a twin scroll inline 6. I think that's where BMW's motor comes into advantage a little more. They're able to get those exhaust gases spinning a little faster, get that turbo spinning a little faster. And this car just doesn't have that, just because of the V6 nature, really. And that comes down to a packaging difference, because they can package a V6 a lot easier than an inline 6. The inline 6 is a lost art. So, but we'll take V6 twin turbos. We'll take them for sure.
Hey look, another real vent.
I wish this car was manual, but they don't make these in manual. Which makes sense though. The market they're targeting, manual's a dying breed, unfortunately. But could you guys imagine how cool it would be 20 years from now? You go to a drift event and you see these like ratted out Stingers sliding, doing clutch kicks and stuff, just like the JZX100s and stuff in Japan. Yeah, just get that dirty image in your head. Just think how cool that'd be. Well, that won't happen because these are all auto. But albeit automatic in this car, really good transmission. We're gonna test this all-wheel drive system in this U-turn, this busy canyon road. All right, let's see what you do. Nope, just hooks, just hooks. All the grip, all the grip. No Hoonigan stuff here, that's for sure.
Aw, the hood vent is fake.
So what I like about this all-wheel drive system is that it's a rear-wheel drive bias system, and that you don't get the woes of too much front wheel pull, which is something you really want to want in a V6 car that's all-wheel drive as well, because cars like the 3000 GT, those are really front heavy. So you add that torque to the front wheels and it really overworks the front tires a lot. So having a better balance between more dedicated to the rear with a heavier front car is a really good recipe for a lot of grip in this car.
This vent's where you hide all your lies.
But I'd give this like a solid 6 for a performance car, because you're giving it's not like a hardcore performance car, but you obviously, that's not what this car is about. It's a daily luxury car that can do performance though, and do it comfortably, and do it without heavy modification or any modification at all. It's a very well-rounded, well-engineered car.
What this car does is what it says on paper. There are no surprises, it doesn't disappoint, but it doesn't exceed what you'd expect from this car either. But when you remember the price point and that Kia built this car, it starts to demand respect.
Anyway guys, really hope you enjoyed this Kia Stinger review. We'll be having more car reviews on this channel throughout the year and to the end of time. So if you guys like car reviews, or you guys just like my face, make sure to like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.